A 9-year-old girl, a box of donut holes, and an unexpected act of kindness from a state trooper that spirals into something truly extraordinary. What starts as a simple trip to the gas station turns into a heartwarming story about generosity, gratitude, and paying it forward in ways no one could have imagined. In 2017, young Brooke Yost found herself short on cash but big on determination. And what happened next left everyone involved completely amazed. From a humble letter to a police department to officers moved to tears, this is a tale that reminds us how small acts of kindness can create ripples far beyond what we expect. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see how one moment at a sheets store became a lesson in humanity that none of us should ever forget. In 2017, 9-year-old Brooke Yost had an encounter with a state trooper named Chad Savannah that she'll never be able to forget. And as soon as she raced home, she started writing a letter to the trooper's police department to tell them exactly what he had done. But when Savannah's patrol commander read the letter, he was floored. What was inside Savannah's letter, along with a note, left the officer with his jaw dropped. He had to find out a way to contact her parents immediately. 9-year-old Brooke Yost was craving some donut holes all day. So, on August 29, 2017, she decided to get some at the Sheetz gas station located between Route 68 and Meridian Road. And then, a stranger in the store changed her life. The little girl from Butler, Pennsylvania lived with her parents, Beth and Dave, and her sisters, Riley and Holly. Like most parents, Beth and Dave taught their children to behave and be good, but Yost was stuck in a bit of a conundrum. And for a moment, she thought that breaking the law was the only way to go. But did she? Her mouth began to water as she looked at the box of donut holes that were in her hand. She considered opening the box and eating one to satiate her cravings before she got to the counter, but her parents taught her better. And yet, something was about to stand in the way of her getting her treats. When she got to the counter, she realized she was short on cash. This wouldn't have been a problem any other day because her mom could bail her out. But when she looked around, she realized her mom was nowhere in sight. She had driven to the store with her mom, but her mom had stayed in the car, which put her in a pickle. She really wanted those donut holes. Unsure of what to do, she started to panic. "I was standing in line and I didn't have enough money, and I'm like frozen," Brooke told the Butler Eagle in December 2017. "I didn't know what to do. To make things worse, there was a cop standing behind her. What was she going to do?" She looked back for a second to look at the tall policeman. He stared back in confusion. Pennsylvania State Trooper Chad Savannah had been on the force long enough to sense when a situation didn't feel right, and this was one of those times. Once Savannah realized Yost's predicament, he decided to do what all good cops would do and come to her rescue. But he had to act fast. There was a line forming, and he didn't want the other customers getting mad at the little girl for holding up the line. But how was he going to get her out of this? He could have rushed out to Yost's mom's car to see if she had the money the little girl needed to buy her donut holes. But he didn't do that. Instead, he tapped into his negotiation training and reasoned with the clerk. "I asked the clerk if she'd put the bill with my stuff and I would take care of it," he told KDKA. He immediately assumed that Yost was going to turn around and thanked him for his generosity, but instead, she ran out like a bandit. "I paid for the donuts and she ran out. It was almost like she'd robbed the place. It was that quick," the trooper recalled. But Yost had made one mistake that she only realized once it was too late. Yost had made it back to the car with her donut holes, but that's when she realized that she had forgotten to give Savannah the money she did have. She was devastated, but the trooper was gone. There was nothing she could do, and then she realized she still had a shot to return what he had so selflessly given. Savannah resumed his duties while holding on to the memory of the little girl he had helped. Meanwhile, Yost had gone home to pen a letter to his police department so she could pay him back. When Savannah's patrol commander got the letter in the mail, he opened it. The note read, "My name is Brooke, and I'm 9 years old. I was at Sheetz and didn't have enough money. A nice police officer behind me kindly paid for my item. I thanked him but felt bad because I didn't offer him the money I had." Yost's letter also came with a little extra something. She had enclosed some cash and wrote what she thought they should do with it. "I am donating this money," her letter read. "I want to thank this officer again. Stay safe, Brooke." But how did the other officers react? "A lot of us are parents," Lieutenant Dan Hines told KDKA. We hope that our own children have these traits and characteristics. In fact, every cop in the station was moved by Yost's letter, and they decided to pay her generosity forward. Some of the officers collected $50 for Yost and even bought her a voucher for Toys R Us. Then they headed to Brooke's home to deliver the gifts and asked the little girl to treat herself, but she only kept part of the money. Yost treated her family to a nice meal with the $50 the officers had collected, but she bought donations with her gift card to give to the annual Marine Corps Toys for Tots drive. Some time had passed, and Yost's mom was busy waitressing at her job when she saw a familiar customer. It was Lieutenant Hines. So she walked over to the officer and introduced herself to him and his family. Hines told the Butler Eagle, she said, "LP, Hines, I'm Brooke's mother." Almost immediately, Hines started praising her daughter and told Brooke's mother that she had raised such an amazing daughter. Yost's mom then told Hines that she and her husband worked to provide for their family and that their ethics had rubbed off on all of their kids. After hearing this, Hines invited the schoolgirl and her family to the station. According to the KDKA report, Commanding Officer Steve Ignataz told his colleagues, "We need to do something nice for this young lady," and they did that and more. The officers gave her a tour of the police station and spent time showing her around, but they wanted to do a lot more than just give her a full tour. The officers allowed her to sit inside a patrol car too. They also gave her a ton of extra gifts, but they were afraid she'd donate those too, so they made her promise that she'd keep some of them. Although Yost was raised to do the right thing, her parents clarified that their daughter acted on her own and was not pushed to do the generous things she did. Clearly, this little girl is a clear reminder that everyone around us will benefit if we're a little kinder to each other.